Thank you so much for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, this is Today with John and Helen. And our first topic today, we're talking about the sitting culture, the couch potato culture, where you just sit down. And for couch potato culture is when you're sitting down at home and you're just saying you are watching films and just chilling and you're just, within your area and space, you're not walking around as much. And then for those of us in the corporate job, 9 to 5, where we're sitting for 8, 10, several hours, and how it affects our health. So we have an expert here today. She's Dr. Opemipo Akingboye. She's a director. She works with the Dancerapy. I think she has to.
Yeah, it's Dancerapy.
Dancerapy. So that's like a combination of the word dance and therapy.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, fantastic. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, so like John would say, let's delve right into the topic.
Okay.
Human beings tend to sit down a lot. Can you give us the origin of this? Sitting down.
It's purely for comfort. When you stand for an extended period of time, your legs get tired or you get strained or stressed, your muscles are aching, so you just want to sit for comfort. That's probably how it started.
But we know that the legs carry the rest of the body, and so the legs must be stronger. And when you're sitting down a lot of the time, you seem to take away from the strength of the legs.
Well,
Is
yes,
that right?
Yeah. So if you would notice with physically disabled people, for a certain period of time, if you do not use your legs as you should, which is like exercising, taking walks and all of that, your muscles begin to atrophy. That's like when they begin to shrink from reduced use, basically. So that's what happens when you don't use the muscles as you should.
Yeah. Right.
So what do we do? Because it's like we found ourselves in this place where we need to sit down. I have to be at work and I have to sit down from probably 8 a.m. If I take a 1 hour break or 30 minutes break, but I have to sit down for long hours. How do I remedy it and live an active or put some activity into my lifestyle?
Okay, so the way it is now is, things are evolving actually. So everyone sees I wouldn't say everyone, but most companies are beginning to see the need for physical activity, even in the workspace, because sitting for prolonged periods predisposes you to a lot of medical issues over
like
time, such as it increases the risk of developing illnesses like diabetes, hypertension, basically cardiovascular issues, and also while sitting for too long, especially if you fly regularly or sitting for prolonged hours, you could develop a blood clot because it inhibits the circulation in the entire body. So that is also a problem. So what some people have adopted is, for now, I think some people have this standing sitting table, work table. So even in the workspace, you have the kind of table that you could modify. You can sit for a certain period of time, and then you can raise it up so that you can stand. Some people have like times where they exercise. So in an hour, if you get up for at least 5 minutes or so, it definitely helps your body for a long period. So yes, those are things that can be done.
All right, so I'm thinking right now, sitting down seems to pose some challenge, health challenge. How much awareness? Because it comes natural, really, to us human beings, except when you need to, move from one place to another. If you're not moving a lot, so to speak, then you're sitting or you're stretched out more. So how do we begin to create this awareness, for people to know that it's even more important for you to be aware of the danger of sitting down a lot than it is for you to be aware of things like don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, and don't eat, junk food and stuff like that.
I mean, I wouldn't say it is more important to be aware of the sitting, because all these factors have their place in causing health issues. So, but you're right, there isn't enough awareness about the dangers of sitting for extended periods. So I mean, what we can do is create more awareness in my own capacity, at least as a medical practitioner. What we try to do is try to educate our patients when they come in and tell them the dangers of having a sedentary lifestyle, because that's what we call it. I mean, you're playing video games in this day and age. You have people that play video games for extended periods and they're constantly sitting. They're not necessarily getting any form of exercise. And all you're doing is eating, sitting. You're not exercising your body. So circulation is inhibited and all of that. So we try to educate as much as we can to get as much exercise as you can, at least, even if your work requires you to sit for extended periods. Because we also, as medical practitioners, part of what we do. If you're seeing patients for an extended period and you have like a large number of patients to see, at some point we know that we have to get up and take a walk at least before you get back down to it.
Okay.
So I mean, if everyone can sort of chip it in every now and then, if corporate bodies can just create like a 5-minute break per hour or every 2 hours, so that their workers can have better
Up
life
on their
experience.
feet, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So how important is dancing? Because I just feel like dancing is underestimated. We're Africans, we like Owambe and parties. We just feel like, oh, we should just dance and just... But what does dance really do for us, for our health?
Fun. That's a fun fact. That's something that we've tried to imbibe as Dancerapy. So dance is one of the, aside walking, dance is one of the easiest ways to get some form of exercise into the body, and it is fun. It gets your serotonin levels elevated and all of that. So it's underestimated, quite frankly. It is highly and widely underestimated. It's not just for the young people. It's not just when you want to party. Dance can be just you moving from side to side, basically, to a rhythm, and it's very what's the word? It's very invigorating, actually, because I know a lot of people have reservations about starting exercise. They're always worried about the pain,
Yes.
worried about the stress and the sweat and all of that. But dance has a way of helping you enjoy the exercise, actually. So
You know, if you notice, I've been smiling all along, because when you talk about dance, I am thinking about the music, the rhythm that comes with it, and that's very pleasurable, you know, besides the fact that it helps you to do the physical exercise. But along the line, you know, you've been talking about sedentary, you know, living. You talked about extended period of sitting down.
yeah.
What do you mean by extended period? And if we need to break it down, how many hours a day, for example, should we be on our feet?
I mean, I can't put a specific time to it, because there's no specific time to it, quite frankly. But when I say an extended period, it is you
Like at a
sitting
stretch,
for,
right?
yeah, you sitting for 3 hours at a stretch, 5 hours at a stretch. Quite frankly, different people have different levels of risk to health-related issues, because there are other factors surrounding it. So the amount of time that you might require to, or you might need to sit, might be shorter than the amount of time I would need to sit, because there are other factors like age, genetics, and all of that. So yeah, and diet, basically, and you know, physical fitness. All of these things also come into play along with sedentary lifestyle. So yeah.
All right, so for me, if you let me, you know, the dance thing, I was talking about the dance and the music. So must we come to a dance, you know, specialist like you? You know, must we take lessons from you? Or can we just dance? Any dance?
Okay, so the thing with that is, the plus side of coming to, you don't have to come to us, but the plus side of coming to a place like Dancerapy, for instance, is that the knowledge you get, or the skill, basically, is an expert skill, basically. So you know that these people are trained to help you work certain parts of the body. So one thing I know as a dancer and as a doctor is that the knowledge that I have of the body is not the same as what you would have of the body. And so it's the same thing when it comes to dance. So you might just be used to one particular move. Okay, just move side to side, side to side. But we've been trained to understand that, okay, you don't have to do all the dance moves, all the trending moves also, but we know that, okay, this move helps you work your arms, this move helps you work your core, this move helps you work your legs. So we're giving you an all-round package, basically.
Okay, so does it now vary from, because I, for example, still have my granny alive. She's 104. She loves music. She loves Bobby Benson and listening to all of that. How do you inculcate for someone that is as elderly as that, and then someone within my age range, and then someone with younger? How do you, plan for each?
Okay, so we have, our instructors have like intermediate levels, basically. They have different levels. So if they're dealing with someone who is much older, the moves, or at least the therapy, is tailored to their age.
Okay.
So that's what we try to do. So even if we have like a combined class, they take note of the amount of people, or the word escapes me.
Okay.
They take note of the people that they have in their class,
The volume of people in their class.
the volume, the age, and all of
Age,
that.
okay.
So
Categories,
they
yeah.
tailor that particular lesson to who is available, basically.
Okay.
So if they have much younger people, you see that the dance classes are more energetic.
Active, yeah.
Exactly, they are inculcating more moves and all of that. So we also have playlists tailored to the age, the demographic. Sorry, that's the
Yes,
word.
yeah.
So we also have playlists tailored to the demographic. So if we have an older group of people, our playlist shifts. We have sometimes where we play just oldies, and it's just fun, because for us it is important that our clients get the full experience. So they don't just come and sweat it out. So you are losing weight, you are improving your circulation, and you are having fun. That is very important, basically. So you're having fun and you're getting the exercise that you need.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm also thinking, at what point in life should I begin to get worried about I'm sitting down for too long, I'm not working enough? Is it from, the little ones, or at what stage should it become a problem?
I think that's something we should have at the back of our minds at all stages of life, because
Okay.
a blood clot developing
Yeah.
has nothing to, well, it doesn't have that much to do with just your age.
Age, yeah. Just
Anyone
sitting
sitting for an extended period of time is predisposed to that. Although, yes, the risks vary across the age demographic and all, but everyone is predisposed to it at the end of the day. Because that's why sometimes you see young people just slum, and that's it, from probably a blood clot that formed and they were not aware of. Like prolonged flights, even during the flights, they will tell you to get up and exercise for a little bit, and they don't say, oh, just the elderly people get up and exercise. No,
Yeah,
it's
everybody-
everyone that has to do it, because it is a very important part. And yeah, sometimes it takes a longer period for others to develop certain things, but at the end of the day, you still get there.
Yeah. So it's better for your body to be active. And it's
Exactly.
essential, when you talked about this, I remember that we had a former minister in Nigeria, I think it was Ransom Kuti, who died from a blood clot because he had,
Yeah.
I think he was flying, he has a name, whether thrombosis or something, right?
Yeah,
He
deep
had sat down for several hours. And I didn't even think about the flying aspect, because you only just think about when you're in the office and then the flying aspect of it. So let me be selfish and ask for myself. So I'm in the office, I come here, sometimes I'm at work, it'll be 7:30, and I'm already seated before like resumption, so to speak, resumption time. How do I now inculcate dancing? Because I personally, I like to dance, I like music. So what do I do before my colleagues are thinking that is for me okay, is everything okay? Do I get up during lunch break and just play some music and move at my desk? How? I just want you to just give us practical steps on how we can inculcate this into our everyday lives.
Okay, so what you can do is you can set a timer, because now we have apps and all
Okay.
of that. We have the Fitbits and stuff. So I would say that for every hour, you should at least get up for 5 minutes.
Okay.
So you can actually set a timer on your phone
Okay.
or your app that, okay,
The 5 minutes.
5
I get up.
minutes, yeah, a 5 minute gap in between for every hour. So during that time, and you have to be religious about it. So you get up, you take a walk around, or at least just get off the seats,
The chair.
basically. Even on one spot, you can get a
Stand.
lot done. And then some other people, you can get the tables, the standing table. For those that have in-house offices, the home office, they can get the standing tables. or the modifiable ones, the ones that go from sitting to standing so that you can actually alternate. But the most effective one would probably be to set that timer for yourself.
Okay.
So some people cannot afford to do 1 hour, so at least every 2 hours you get up, you take a walk, and you come back. And I try to tell people, don't get everything that you need around you.
Okay.
It's okay to take a walk to pick up the remotes.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay to take a walk to the kitchen to get the coffee and everything. It's fine to do those things, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then for gamers, I would advise that they get like instead of sitting all the time,
Yes.
you should get like a standing space also,
Okay.
basically. So yeah, and then another thing is that you can book a class with Dancerapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, there are different places around
You can go.
on the mainland, on the island. We have
Okay, so it's
Space
across.
Making.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
so you can book a class with Dancerapy for that day. They have classes in the morning. They have classes in the evening. So you can do all of that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, right. So
More
if-
questions? If
I
not,
don't, because we're wrapping up. I laughed because when you talked about getting the remote, I just remember like every African parent will always call you, even though the remote is just right beside them. They say, "Oh, please, can you get the remote?"
And you're sitting.
So your
And
kids
you're
are
just-
getting more
yeah.
exercise.
Yeah,
than you.
your kids are getting more exercise
yeah.
than you, where you can just get up and.
all right. So,
Okay.
like in a minute, if someone just joined us at this point in time, it's like we're talking about sitting, the couch culture and our health. What would be the takeaways for them if that was the only thing they could just grab from
Okay,
our
so-
conversation this morning?
The takeaway would be that it is important to know that sitting for extended periods is harmful to your health. It predisposes you to other health issues, especially cardiovascular issues. That's issues related to the heart, which can be quite dire. So it is imperative that you get enough exercise, or at least you take a walk as often as possible. You stand while you're working for extended periods or something, as long as you are not just sitting.
Just get up there and do all that you need to do instead of sending people around
Exactly.
when you have arrived.
Exactly.
You know now, that thing about arriving, and you no longer, yes.
Actually, and the funny thing, everybody else is now doing better health-wise
Yeah.
than you are.
Because I always also feel like even so within your neighborhood, instead of driving around, just take a walk instead of having to just
Actually,
drive to all of those places and all the hours spent in traffic. Thank you so much, Dr. Opemipo. We hope you will have you again very soon, and then I hope I can come in for a session at Dancerapy and just see what the entire place
You're
is
very
like.
welcome.
Maybe
It'd
one
be a
of the
pleasure to have you.
sessions here we will do some dancing with you. We'll arrange so we can have the physical demonstration of what we need to do,
yeah.
Absolutely.
dance-wise.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having
God
me.
bless you.
Thank you. So
Okay.
we'll take a quick break. When we return from the break, we'll be talking about the International Day of the Boy Child. Stay with us.